Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Reality Buzz TV, where we talk about all things reality TV shows and all things reality TV show stars. Today we're going to do episode 6 of season 2 of Nganele. And yeah, you guys, how is the show going? I'm still feeling like I'm disappointed at Pinky's storyline. I don't know. I think I'm not getting what I want to get from Pinky and Sean's storyline. So it just bores me when it goes to Pinky and Sean. But I love the drama with Sophie and also with Untombi, okay? And I think Untombi has the best storyline so far, because obviously there's a lot that went on when she was doing Umakoti Are You The One. There's a lot that went on when they did Nganele season 1. And now I think the family Agam team didn't like the fact that, you know, we all call them evil because they were being evil in-laws, and they are trying. But you know, when the evil is in your heart, when the evil is in your heart, you can't do nothing about it. Okay, no matter how much you try to be nice, there's just still evil in your niceness. So you guys, in last episode, Sophie and Prince had gone to visit Prince's mom's house to see Jawline, because Jawline wabuya emendweni usekhaya. But she thinks she can tell other people how to live their lives. There's nothing wrong with coming back from emendweni, because pelumendo uyashisa, guys. So masekuthi wabuya, you know, soldier back home. But hamba uyitholela indawo yakho phela yokuhlala wena, ngoba wena ukwazi ukutshela abanye abantu ukuthi how they must live. You know, how are you back at your mother's house and you have a nerve to tell anybody how to live their lives? Hamba uqasha phela. Ake sibone phela wena. The nerve kaJawline. So Jawline was not well. They were going to see her, and then they had that talk where Sophie was not happy with Jawline, didn't speak to her about her child coming to live with Sophie. Apparently this girl is like 21 years old. I was like, 21 years old. Why didn't she tell her? I would want that, you guys. If you are coming to stay at my house, you're not going to just speak to the other person. That is not happening, okay? I'm sending that person back. In fact, Sophie is very nice. So Sophie had walked out in the last episode, walked out of a conversation, decided she's gonna go see the mother-in-law. I don't know why the mother-in-law, maybe she just doesn't want to be on TV this time, but we haven't seen her. And then Prince calls her because he is trying to calm the situation down, and he's apologizing for taking Jawline's side. And Sophie was like, okay, no, it's fine, I forgive you. But she says, no, this will be addressed back at home. I'm not in my territory, so we will address it back at home, you guys. But Sophie and Jawline ended up having a meeting later on, and I want to talk about that now. They have a meeting later on. Sophie decides to take Jawline out because she wants to resolve this. Guys, listen, you can totally get married without getting along with your sister-in-law. In fact, you can get married without getting along with the sister-in-law. It's just not somebody that you should make that much effort, especially when they don't want to be around you. Mother-in-law, maybe, because it's your person's mom, you know, and your mom becomes your mom. You know what I mean? The same way that you want your mother to be taken care of, you know, you want their mom. So definitely I would make an effort with the mother-in-law. The sister-in-law, you know, I would not make as much effort as Sophie is making. So I just don't get it. So he takes her out. It's a chilled place, Labe corner, and then they start talking, okay? Then Sophie starts by apologizing for walking out. And I'm like, hey, I don't understand it, okay? So now Jawline goes into, okay, I heard because you were not happy. Your aunt is not happy that umntwana uhlala nawe umntwana wami. And then Sophie's like, where did you get that from? Apparently, when Auntie Sophie visited Sophie and was talking about how come Prince has come with another family member to stay Sophie, the child had. And then the child, being messy, went and told her mom, go to the aunt, doesn't like her being there. Never even had a conversation with Sophie. So I'm suspecting the child is just as messy as her mom. Because why did you say that? Because Sophie is welcoming. Sophie doesn't have a problem. Sophie is of the view that the fight between her and Jawline has nothing to do with the child. So, and she is also letting her stay in her house. So why this child felt the need to tutor in Jawline when she knew Jawline doesn't really get along with her mom, I don't know. I feel like it was a little bit messy of that child, that 21-year-old. Okay, now she says, Sophie was, no. Even though my aunt might feel like that, I don't feel like that. I'm okay with the child living with me. And also, me and you not getting along has nothing to do with the child. Okay? But I guess Jawline is still feeling like, if she told Prince Ngane was coming to stay with them, then that's it. Okay? And also, the child is an adult. She could have spoken to you for herself. Okay? And then you guys... Jawline, she goes on to say, number one, she doesn't think that Sophie should be doing all of these things, Zoklala with Prince and all of that. And now she feels like Sophie, now the reason she wants to get closer to Jawline is because now she wants to be rescued from this whole situation. That's why Sufuna says to keep her ending. Now remember, you guys. Now remember, they're living at Sophie's apartment or house that she bought. Okay, she did make it clear because she's the one that bought the house, and obviously Prince wasn't working. Where was he going to get the money? And also they're not married, so they're not buying it together. She bought the house. Prince moved in, so Prince lived in Sophie's at Sophie's place. Okay. Now, Jawline is talking about coming back to keep her Sophie in Lynn. And then Sophie's like, which house? Then Sophie's like, do you even know what's on the title deed? Do you even know what's on the title deed? Okay? I think that she really... she was right to say that, do you even know what's on the title deed? How are you going to come and kick me out of my own house? There's this thing, you guys, that, families of husbands will always think that whatever it is that you have is your husband. But they'll be knowing that their brother doesn't work. Your brother doesn't work. Where would he have got imali to buy a house? Which bank would have given him a bond? Which crazy bank, okay? Capitec does crazy things, but even then, they wouldn't give it to him if he's not working. I'm like, which bank is that, So, it's that thing, guys, if you haven't heard the statement, you are very lucky. You are very lucky if you've never heard a statement. Lapo ubhuti is eating your money. Ubhuti will be eating your money. They'll be thinking when ubhuti lapha akanamali. Everybody thinks ukuthi umakoti is eating imali kabhuti. I was like, Jawline, right, kahle. Then Jawline gets to a point where she's like, listen, we can forgive each other, but I don't want you next to me. I'm not understanding why Sophie wants the approval of Jawline. I just don't get it, you guys. Why? Okay, you're a beautiful, successful woman. You are in this relationship that even I am starting to not be sure about, but you are sure about it. You are happy with Prince. Why do you need Jawline? Why do you need Jawline's approval? I don't know, you guys. It's just one of those relationships where you just keep going back for some verbal abuse, because basically Jawline is very abusive to Sophie. She's not nice when she should be. She actually be nice, because this person is even helping your child. So obviously the meeting doesn't go so well. Okay, when somebody says that hey, I was like, yo, shame. I'm like, you, thank you so much. Yo, shame. Anyway, that's the situation with Sophie and Jawline. And then, you guys, we saw Untombi and Nonhlanhla. They had gone out. They like going out, and then they like going there by him at any, and then they will go and go on a cruise, because this is not the first time we see them do that. Guys, Unhlanhla, I feel like, and Untombi does mention this, I felt in the last episode, And I felt it again in this episode, the last episode and this episode. Untata is drinking a little bit more than usual. He's not himself. And I was wondering that at the time he was sweating a lot. And I'm like, hey, no, something is off. And also his speech will be slurring. Then you don't understand it. And then when Tommy mentioned, which recently Untata is drinking a lot. And I was like, and most of my ben Ntombi, who always has a drink in his hand. I think Koni Isha Kona Lapayana with Utlata and drinking. But yeah, that's why they're going out, and Utlata is telling Ntombi about how, you know, he was able to confirm Naganjani, his mother, his biological mother did pass away. And he was just talking about his pain, about the fact that he did not know and all of that. I didn't like a response Ntombi, guys, because I feel like Utlata is going through a conflict where, I mean, if I had to find out now as an adult that my mother is not my mother, Haibo, now you're asking yourself, oh, so what happened to my own mother? You know, where's the grave? Who's been cleaning the grave then? You know, so where's my father? Do I have siblings? So there's another family that I might have here. Where's my grandmother? You know, so you start asking yourself all of those things because none of these people that are around you, I told you the truth. So I really felt like Untata needed support. I do get Ntombi's point, but she could have said those things later on when Tlata is now okay and has healed after some time. Because you know what? You have to find a way to cancel yourself. Because if we're being honest, Umden Wagamtem was not so horrible to you. Because look at you, you're grown, you're okay, you can function by yourself. So they didn't do such a bad job, but you can say that later on, not while he is still in it and dealing with it. So I felt like he wasn't getting enough support. Even him in the data session did say he's feeling alone in this situation because of what Ntombi is saying. And Ntombi was also saying the thing of Ingane maishonela bazali ayilawuleki. I think that thing, you guys, is true. It is true, and it's very hard to parent a child that has lost their biological mom in the family. It's very, very hard to parent that child. Ningayithanda ingane, but nje kunzima ukuparent ingane ehambe lo mzali in the family. However, I still feel like they still deserve the truth, because that is the truth. It might be difficult to raise them while they know that their mother is not around, but it is the truth. It doesn't justify not telling a child the truth, you know? And it doesn't justify when you finally get to tell them the truth to be act the way that Umdenogamtembo acted. It was like, hey, boo, why are you not saying thank you for us raising you? Why do you want to know your biological mom? And yeah, you guys. And then at the cruise, I really felt like after the talk with Tlata, I was really like drunk. You know, the way that he was talking, I was like, he sounds really drunk. I hope that alcohol is not really like a problem. But it might be the thing that he's using to cope with the situation. Later on, Tlata does have a conversation with his uncle. And I guess, you guys, he got the answers from his grandmother. But, you know, like, I guess every day there's new questions, you know, that are coming up. And Ukoko, it almost felt like Ukoko, after she told him everything, she closed that chapter to be like, okay, now are you satisfied? Now can we move on? And I do feel like that is unfair to Ntlantla, because every day he's going to have, I mean, he's lived for what, 30 years without knowing his mother. I don't know how old Ntlantla is. So for like, questions are going to come, you know. Now he has questions about, you know, what kind of a person his mom was like. And he also asked the question, so when my mom came home with me, what was my surname? And the uncle said, listen, I don't know much, you know, but you were very young at the time. And I remember the surname Sagatube, but I'm not even sure. You know, I think it was a man, Wagatube, but I'm not even sure, you know, and I'm not even sure if Ukoko knows who is your father, you know. This is what I'm saying, that, you know, with the information, this is not your biological mother comes, then who is my biological father? Then who is my paternal family? Where are those people? Do you know them? Do you not know them? How come they never wanted to know about me? And I think that honestly, in a healthy environment, the family would be open, would be saying, you know what, we are open. You can come to us at any time with the questions. But that family is very strange. So Utlata doesn't have that. But I was happy that the uncle was at least able to answer the question, you know, was willing to answer the questions that he could answer, even though most of the question he was saying, listen, you need to ask Ukoko, because Ukoko is the one that knows everything. Okay. Now, you guys, here is the thing. It came to my mind, you would say, what if Untlanta is not of that family at all? Because if you look at Untlanta, he doesn't look like any of the people that are in that family. In fact, that family, what if he was just adopted? This whole story that they're telling now is not, you know. I think I'll believe it maybe when they go and they see the grave Kamawake. And I don't know, Nganele thoughts, what if they are still lying to him about, you know, his mother having passed away. Anyway, you guys, now we had while Untlata is talking to the uncle, they do get to talk about Tombi and the Mtembu family, because Abagam Mtembu, they're saying they want Tombi to come visit the family. And remember, Tombo said Ocholiwe, so I guess Bafuna as Kotiza or something. Now, how do you go to the family? Because remember, Tombo, and when she was courtesing the first time, they didn't like her, they didn't like anything that she was doing. Obviously, she's not looking forward to going there, but they want her to come. Okay, so Tlata was speaking to his uncle to say, I don't know why they wanted Tombi, because when Tombi was here, they didn't really like the fact that she was here. Okay, so why would they be telling me? Because Umas K no Mawake were the ones that had told him the uncle said, but think about it, it must be the positive. But because one thing that Mas K and your mom is not gonna do is to ask Untombi to come without speaking to Gogo. So the fact that they are saying Untombi must come means that they have spoken to Gogo. And if they've spoken to Gogo, then she has said yes, because they are saying Untombi must come. That is a positive for you, because didn't you want Untombi to get along with the Gogo? Didn't you want Untombi to get along with your mom and Maskei? So if they are asking her to visit, maybe it's a positive thing after all. Maybe they are finally going to be able to fix the relationship, okay? Anyway, you guys, I don't know if Untombi should go to that family. I think she made enough efforts, you know? And if she goes, I think she should go in her own terms. You know, say, because I'm going to come, but these are the conditions. Yeah, enough don't be that time. I think she deserves to do that, okay? Anyway, you guys, so they did have a meeting, Mazulu with the Mtembu family, Umagantombi, because remember that whole thing of Ugogo had said Umagantombi wayeshobanisa amashidi akamthembu. So during the meeting we find out, I don't know if abantu bamthembu are just like getting away from what they had said, because now they are saying that was not about Umagantombi, it was about another Magantombi, WakaZulu naye, who had shwabanisa amashidi, and Ugogo uthi and the dog shwabanisa amashidi is not a aksinhlamba. But I'm like, it is. How? Why would you say that about another woman? Why shwabanisa amashidi? Why would you not say uma wakho ayigane like her, uma wakho ayizilingane like her? Why would you have to refer to shwabana amashidi lo gogo? They are just changing the story now. They're changing the storyline now, you know, because they don't want to deal with the consequences of what Umagantombi once answers. I don't remember Shwabanisa amashidi akamthembu mina. So, and also because on TV we only know Umagantombi, we only know Umagantombi, the one that we saw yesterday or last night. Because we only know her, obviously, if somebody says Umagantombi wayeshobanisa amashidi akamthembu, we're going to think about her. So everybody is thinking it's her. Even abantu basesontweni, even abantu basenkonzweni, they were thinking it's Magantombi who was shwabanisa. The people were like, kanti now washwabanisa amashidi laphana noNtombi now sewushwabanisa amashidi. Nomfundisi was asking, uthi hayibo mama umkhokheli kanti washwabanisa amashidi. So yes, you guys, but yeah, I guess that was resolved because the Mtembu family is saying they didn't mean her. They might be lying, you guys, but yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do now? That's the answer you're getting, you know. They didn't mean the Magantombi that we know, you know, they meant the other one. And yes, you guys, and then again they asked us back to Ashintombi. The mother said that they would speak to the uncles, and then, you know, my families are formal. Yo. There was the man, they asking the mother would ask the uncle would ask the grandmother, you know. Or they're just trying to avoid Toby going to visit. And then Gogo sometimes, and then she's like, you know what, mina Toby ngiyamthanda. Anginankinga naye. I'm like, hey bo, kanjani ukuthi awunankinga noNtombi? That family is toxic. If they love Ntombi, there is a very toxic love, you know. So they wanted Ntombi to come and visit. I feel like, you guys, it's either they want to abuse Ntombi some more because they enjoyed it so much when they did it the first time, or they want to change people's perspective of them. Like they want people to look at them differently. So if Ntombi comes and they treat her kindly, then we're going to see them different. Also, oh, okay, so they are good people after all. So I think that they're trying to do that now, which is not a bad thing, because then it will help even their relationship with Ntombi. Because trust me, because one thing Unhlanhla has been consistent is that he is going to marry Ntombi, and he hasn't been shaken in that. So you might as well accept Ntombi. And then there was a Pinky situation, you guys. Some other families are just too involved in each other's lives, because Auntie Bagashone, they are there trying to discipline Pinky, because they don't like the fact that Pinky every weekend is gone. And there's one thing that Pinky has been saying constantly since last season. On weekends, I have a catering business. So when I say I'm going to a wedding, it's not like you're chukuza and you're sevens. When I say I'm going to a party and you go to your sevens, she has been saying on weekends. And yeah, this is what I don't understand with families of boys. Like, your boy is not working. If you have time to have a sit-down conversation with anybody, you should be sitting down with your son and asking him about the progress of him finding a job. You have a wife now, and you are talking about the fact that you want a child. So what's going on? When are you finding a job? But no, they're not going to have that sit down. They're not going to have that sit down. Because it's okay for a man to just marry somebody and not work. You know, it's okay. But, you know, the person that must be set down is the one that is working. She has a 9 to 5 and has businesses she runs on weekends. But they have a problem with her going and running those businesses on weekends. They're like, awufundiswa ngayini ekhaya kuba makoti. Yo guys, yo. Ihithi bizophuma ngamadlebe laphayana. You remember those stoves that used to, long time ago, my ears bezokwenza kanjalo when somebody says that to me. Awufundiswa ekhaya. Didn't they teach you how to be umakoti? No, they did, but they assumed that my man was going to be working. The problem is that I am sitting here and I'm thinking, this man that they described, who was supposed to be coming back from work, and I was supposed to be cooking for him after work, I am seeing the work part of it is not happening. So I just thought, okay, it must be something different from what they taught me at home. So anyway, you guys, I don't know. I guess about Auntie, they just wanted to be on TV, because that conversation was like nonsense conversation. They should sit down with Sean and be like, what are your plans, man? You know, because you're married now, you're at your mother's house. You shouldn't be here. You should be at your own place with your, wife and planning for this child that you say you want. Anyway, you guys, I can't even believe there's a man that thinks like the nerve of wanting a child when you yourself are a child and not having a job. Anyway, you guys, that was the episode of Nganele this time, you guys. It's definitely still watchable for me. I still enjoy certain scenes. And at this point, I feel like I am very much invested in these couples, and I'm invested in just knowing what's going to end up being when it comes to these couples? Okay, are they, are they going to say banele, or are they going to stay together? Hey, but isn't there a man there that just wants to be miserable his whole life as lapayana? Who wants to be miserable their whole lives? Hey, I'm not sure that man was like, I'm done, because who can live with Jawline? Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate it so much. Like it before Pumagona, share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers.